And here we are back again for another day of Trey's Chow Down Live, and I'm here with Chef Mike from the Maple Diner, Maple Leaf Diner.
Yes, sir. Nice to see you again, Trey.
I don't know why I say Maple. I guess I just see Maple Leafs
That's
everywhere.
it. We got covered everywhere. So.
That's right. Even the diner it is.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go through a little hot topics, and then
Sure.
we're going to talk to Mike about Maple Leaf. So this last week in Dallas, and I've said this last week on my last show. Terry Black's Barbecue opened up in Dallas and Deep Ellum. And if you live in Dallas, or if you're not from Dallas, if you're around the area, you need to go over to Terry Black's. It's fantastic. They're from Austin. They throw some great barbecue out there. Old South Pancake House is making huge progress on their new building down in Burleson, Texas. If you want to see their progress, head over to Trey's Chow Down Live, and you can see it. They were even working on Thanksgiving Day out there. Welding.
Wow.
Guys way up in there welding.
Wow.
Thanksgiving Day. They just want that money.
Get it done.
He wants it done. They want the money.
That's it.
Two good combinations.
That's it.
Salary Man Oak Cliff's been open for about 4 weeks now, and it is a fantastic spot. Have you heard about Salary Man?
I have not.
24 seats.
24 seats.
24 seats.
I guess you cut down on staff that way.
And they don't take reservations.
That's it.
Also this week, the Texas Journey came out. I don't know if we can, Ron, if we can see this. Texas Journey came out. Texas Taco Guide, Taco Trail, Jose with Texas Monthly Taco Letter, who's been on our show, has this whole article in the Texas Journey. All you need to find it, get it, and read it. It's really neat. It's got all kinds of Texas tacos in it, all the way from the border all the way up here. It's a neat deal. And last but not least, last week I was called to go visit they call the Three Danes Inn. And it's an old historical house. It's 100 years old, and these people, it's got a Danish flair, and these people completely remodeled the house. It has been restored. It's in the historical district. They have a bed and breakfast in the front and a bakery in the back, and it is fantastic.
Where's that at?
It's right here. It's the new South Side Art District in Fort Worth.
Oh, nice.
And if you want to see the pictures, just go to Trey's Chow Down on Facebook. It is absolutely fantastic. I put a lot of photos. They had baked goods from the front of the house all the way to the back to the bakery. It was phenomenal. And the funny thing is, they walled it off. So if you want to go to the bakery, you have to go out the front door and walk around the house and go into the bakery in the back, which is neat. But yeah, I guess because they didn't want the bakery bothering bed and breakfast people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People trying to have a nice little bed and breakfast and having people lining up to get the bakery.
That's right. That's right. All right, Mike. So let me put this up. We are going to get in here with Mike, Chef Mike from Maple Leaf Diner in Dallas. And I'll tell you, when I first heard about Maple Leaf about a year ago, but I didn't make it over there right away. I didn't make it over until about 6 months ago. When I finally made it over there, boy, I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So tell me something, Mike. So where are you from originally? Where's your family from?
Windsor, Ontario, Canada, right across from Detroit.
Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
It's not the nice part of Canada. It's more like the armpit of Canada. So, well, if you're 15 minutes downtown Detroit, you know how nice could it be?
Oh, it's that close to Detroit.
Oh, yeah. I lived south of Detroit. It's kind of funny. Detroit was north of me. Kind of funny.
You serious?
We're the most southern point of Canada.
So where is the border between y'all?
It's there's a Detroit River that runs right through, and that's the border.
Okay.
So literally, right across the border.
It's funny you say that because our ranch in East Texas, our ranch headquarters in East Texas, we're on the Red River. So the river that runs through the back of our ranch splits us up from Oklahoma. We've lost over the last 20 years. We've lost over 200 acres into the river.
Just as eroding.
Yes, or it changes course.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But as soon as you leave our ranch, go out, we said we have to go get fuel, and the closest place is about 10 miles, and it's in Oklahoma. So every day I get up and I go to Oklahoma and come right back.
That's it.
Yeah, so it's about the same thing. It's kind of neat. You wouldn't think so, but it is.
Yeah.
So you grew up there.
Yes, sir.
Your family still live in Canada?
Yeah, all my family. I just have, my brother lives in Houston, and yeah.
So he came to Texas too?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He kind of went off, did something else, ended up in Arizona, ended up wherever. He came kind of the United States first, and we kind of ended up in Texas. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
so.
Good place to be.
That's it. That's why, right?
So growing up, did your mom cook?
No, my family's been in the restaurant business since like 1967. My grandparents, the Delauriers, they started it's called Betty and Norm's Pizza and Chicken Palace. They were looking for something to do. They decided to open a restaurant. They didn't even know what they were doing when they first started.
Chicken Palace.
Yeah.
Wait, say your last name again.
Delaurier.
That's why I've never said your name, because I can't say your
There
last
you
name.
go. Some of the people from like Louisiana, that French, it's like French Canadian. So
Okay.
my ancestors are actually from Paris. So yeah, and they actually came down to there's a park called Point Pelee National Park, and it's the most southern tip of Canada. And there's actually a Delaurier house in that park where my ancestors came, and you can actually go see the house and see how they live. They're kind of like the first settlers in the area. So it's kind of cool, little history from my family. So
that's neat.
yeah, and then yeah, my grandparents decided to start a business, and they wanted to do a restaurant, so they went at it and learned it. And actually our chicken breading recipe now is a derivative of her famous chicken breading recipe from back in the day. So
when they started, how old were you when they started? You had to be...
I wasn't born. I was born in 77. So they were in the restaurant for whatever. And my family, my mom and my dad was the only brother. He had 5 sisters. So, and he was the only boy. So he was cleaning the restaurant when he was younger and pizza delivery. And he ended up meeting my mom. My mom was a waitress. So he drove the waitresses home at the end of the night after the pizza delivery, and they got together and ended up doing that way. So it was kind of...
If they didn't know, how they decided, they just opened up a restaurant on a whim?
Yeah, they just kind of... They knew a little bit about some stuff, but they were just like, you know what? This area needs a good restaurant, some good food, and we're going to make it. My grandmother used to tell me that they were really poor back in the day, and we make our gravy, our brown gravy, which we got our lovely poutine over here.
Yeah.
So this brown gravy, we don't make it like a normal cooks would make it with a roux. We actually make the beef broth, and then we use a flour slurry after to thicken it. Well, when you do that, you end up with little flour lumps. Well, they were so poor growing up, they made the gravy for the restaurant, and they took all those little beef-flavored flour lumps, and they used that to serve the kids and eat for dinner for the family. Like, that's how my grandma was telling me that story.
Are you serious?
That's how poor they were when they were starting out and getting things going on. And so, yeah, just, homemade food and just using every bit that you can.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Those are good stories, though. Those stories you want to be sure and tell everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And just kind of, when we grew up from there, my mom and my dad, they actually lived in a little house behind the restaurant that my grandparents owned. It was actually attached to the restaurant. So for one of the youngest years, I was like basically living in a restaurant growing up too. So
what did you? So that they served pizza and what?
Yeah,
else?
they started with Betty and Norm's Pizza and Chicken Palace, and then they ended up selling that when they moved out farther to this little tiny town called St. Joachim, and had like 600 people in this whole entire town.
Why would they move?
I don't know really why. They ended up buying a bigger building.
Okay.
And they ended up actually doing this big seafood buffet. They had perch, like yellow lake perch, which I die for now, and frog legs. And they did seafood, and they did fish and chips, and they had this big Friday buffet. And it was kind of funny. People used to come from Windsor, which is 45 minutes away. People came from all over. And I think the restaurant held 500 people, and in this little town of 600 people, and they packed it all the time because people came from everywhere for the good food.
People will drive for good food.
They will. They will drive for good food.
I drove 140 miles round trip yesterday to eat. I mean, people drive for good food.
Yes, they drive a lot for food. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's basically been in my blood,
Yeah. And
I started.
Well, hang on. But y'all lived in a restaurant. So when you moved, where'd you move to? When you moved to get the new place, where'd y'all live there?
Well, that was actually the restaurant that we moved to, lived in. When they sold there, that's the one we moved into. Okay. And then later on, I think my dad got out of the restaurant business and he got in the factory. Windsor is a really blue collar town, so he worked at Chrysler's, and my mom was a nurse. So
is Windsor still that way?
Yeah, it's pretty blue collar, factory driven. So yeah, definitely they got a lot of the renewable energy kind of stuff going on there to kind of help spur some things up, and the housing market there is really booming really good because everybody's moving down from Toronto, where it's kind of, where everybody's moving from California, where the house prices are so high. Right. They're moving down there because you can get, cheap housing compared to that.
So do you still stay in contact to be reading a lot of stuff about Canada? Yeah,
I go up there a little bit. I'm kind of on the funeral and wedding schedule though. I don't really go too often.
The two things I don't like: funerals and weddings.
Yeah, for sure. I was just
exciting.
up there in the summer a couple times, so it was definitely pretty interesting. So going
That's
back
crazy.
to the stuff and seeing everything how things changed so much.
So when did you start cooking? How old were you when you started cooking?
13, I started being a line cook.
At the restaurant?
Yeah, it was that time. It was called the Country Boy Tavern.
Country Boy Tavern.
Country Boy Tavern, right up your alley, Trey. There was a little country boy on the sign with a little cowboy hat.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, and they had a little bar area with pool tables and a big restaurant. It was a big place. So
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, in this tiny little town without even a street light. Like one stop sign in this little town and a convenience store and a 600-person restaurant.
So how'd you start off? Did you start washing dishes or something? Or what,
No,
before,
I just
before that, or
started
did you start
right on the line. I was actually started cutting the grass of the restaurant first, and it was out in the county. So when I started working, I was hay baling for the farmer down the street, and I was, like I said, I was always out for the money. I was always that kind of entrepreneur spirit. Even when I was little, when I was 8 years old, I used to catch catfish down in the river and sell them to the guys at the end of the street that used to come every week fishing when I was 8 years old. My parents would say, "Where'd you come down for the money?" I was like, "I sold my catfish."
That's pretty good.
Right,
pretty resilient.
Yeah, so we ended up, and then I started cooking, and we were, slower during the week. So, we did the whole thing to save the labor. The cooks did their dishes. We didn't have a dishwasher during the week, so you kind of did both. But when I was in high school, I was working full time, 40 hours a week, going through high school, working on weekends all the time. That's why I feel like I really didn't get in a whole lot of sports, because every time when everybody was at home watching sports, I was always working,
Working, yeah.
Slicing roast beef and frying perch,
What was when you first started out and you were 13? What was the most memorable experience you had? What did you enjoy the most when you started out? I mean, what made you want to get up and go and be cook on the line?
The rush, the craziness, having a slew full of bills and, being short of cook and being under the wire and have to crank it out. And, it's kind of funny. I feel, I feel that's the kind of the fun part that I get. I feel like a lot of, chefs and people that work in kitchen, they're, taking their time and making these proper recipe and doing whatever. But real in the kitchen, it's about cooking it out, making it good every time, and being busy. You're like slamming it, right? If you're a successful place, you have to push out some plates. So
you're creative.
It's no way to do it. But and to be able to make it great and excellent and great presentation while being busy is the key, I think.
So you worked on the line. How long did you work on the line there?
I worked for a couple years and years and years, and I left the kitchen for a little bit. I tried to do an electrical apprenticeship once for the summer, but I was still, and at that time my family actually sold the restaurant to somebody else, and I went to try to get this. They sold the restaurant, so I went to try to get this electrical apprenticeship when I got out of high school.
Yeah.
But then I kept serving. I started serving. That's when I started being a server.
Okay.
And I remember this, still to this day, I remember this girl named Glenda. This old lady, she's kind of cute older lady. She's been a career server, and she taught me all kind of things on how to serve and how to make tips and how to do everything. And so I was doing the electrical apprenticeship during the day and serving at night till 2 in the morning. And then one of my other family members ended up buying another restaurant in Windsor. And we were, she's like, "I'm going to hire you to come and be my kitchen manager and run the kitchen." And
so you learned how to serve.
Yeah, I learned how to serve. Learned how to cook.
Learned a bit of the front of the house.
So then she's like, "Hey, I'm going to hire you to be my kitchen manager." She's like, "But there's one problem. I hired 3 chefs with way more experience than you. It's going to be kind of challenging. I don't know how you're going to make out." But you know what? And even these guys, I was 19 at the time. These guys come in, these like 35-year-old guys are thinking, "Okay, this little punk kid's my boss," right? But after a little bit being in the kitchen, they're like, "Okay. This guy knows what's up. He knows what's up and's got going on." So, and it worked on from there. And then,
did you learn a lot from them?
Yeah, I did a lot. There was this one chef, Marty. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my family. This one chef, Marty, taught me a lot of things. He was good at. I learned to take some good things and leave some bad things. So he was a famous chef, one of those chefs that couldn't control his food costs. He wanted to make these over the top, outrageous things that you couldn't possibly sell for the price that you need to sell it for, right?
2 of the worst things, labor costs and food costs.
Oh, yes, for sure. So he was really bad at the food costs. He wasn't really good at that. So, but I learned, I took the good. He had some cool techniques and some cool things that I learned, and then we went on from then, and then I ended up buying the business from my family, me and my brother. And at the time, we grew it. We had 2 restaurants and a bar. It was Pepper's Bar and Grill. Dante's Dance Bar was like a 550-person club.
Dante's Dance Bar.
Yes, sir. You would have liked it, Trey. Girls dancing up on the bar. It was great. And we had this place called Michael's Restaurant, and it was in a Ramada hotel. And then we did all the room service for the whole hotel, and it had like a 200-seat restaurant that we did as well.
So you kind of had a captured audience, too.
Yeah, and they were right on a corner. And downtown Windsor is, I don't know, kind of equivalent, I guess, to Austin, that 6th Street, where it's like 3 blocks of bar, restaurant, bar, restaurant, just tons of liquor licenses. And we did that good for a while. And then we ended up, the Canadians, they changed all their rules. They stopped the no smoking. The passport law came in across the border. It kind of crushed business a lot. And then...
Wait, I didn't... When did they start that?
Around 2000, when the towers went down.
That's right. That's right.
Then they went crazy on the...
That's right, because you used to go with your driver's license.
Yeah, you could go across your driver's license, and then not everybody would always go get a passport or pay for a passport. And then everybody else was still smoking, and Canada went all non-smoking, so that hurt the bar scene really good. A lot of people stopped going kind of over there. So then...
people like to smoke when they drink.
Yeah, and I was always looking to kind of get to the United States, get to that American dream. I was always going looking for the next thing. So
we all are.
Yeah, and it's funny enough. One of my my other aunts, who currently owns a restaurant called Beach House Grill in Canada right now, she had a little Scene on TV store, this little infomercial retail store. And she wanted to go to the United States. So she wanted to come down to the United States. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. I'm down. So I went and managed her store, did that for a year. And then we came down here and opened a retail store. And then when I was here and doing this retail for a bit, I was looking around. I was like, man, people eat out so much in Dallas.
Yeah.
And Frisco. I moved into Frisco. And up there was like the land of the franchises. You know what I mean? There was very few.
Well, that was the last. Frisco was one of the last to turn. There was a lot of farmland up there.
Yeah. So, and it was like when I moved there, it was really not that much. The colony wasn't blowing up as much as it is now. So, and then I was like, and then every restaurant I went to, I was like, it's a Tuesday, and it was a crappy restaurant, and the place is 3/4 full. And you know what? I found that there's a lot of really good restaurants. I think higher end restaurants in Dallas, but there was no really good like just casual restaurant. You can just go and grab something, eat some good homemade food where it's not out of a can or not out of a freezer. And I'm like, man, they need a diner. There's no diners. There's some homemade food, some good breakfast. And then I was itching for some pea-meal bacon. Some Canadian pea-meal bacon. I can't find it down here. Here. So, and some butter tarts. I love my butter tarts. So then I was like, you know what? Let's make a little Canadian spin on a diner. So
was where you are now where you opened up for first time?
Yeah, it took us forever to find a location because no one really wanted to lease to us because we didn't have any American. We haven't been in the States before, so.
Well, you got a great spot.
Yeah, it took a while to find.
They worked with you there, obviously.
Yeah, well, they. I went in, it's all timing, Trey. Everything's timing. At that time, they were doing
it is timing.
They were doing the construction on 635, so you couldn't even get across on Preston. It was a disaster.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Everything was really slow, but I kind of knew it was finishing up. I had some inside scoop, knew it was finishing up, so I kind of snuck in there, and And it's a good location. It's not the best location, but it's a good location.
It's a good location. I mean, it's out in front and on the side.
Yes.
Lots of traffic. So
yeah. And then here we are, and it's been it was 4 years in September.
Does it seem longer than that?
You know what? It does. Longer and shorter depends on the day.
Well,
depends on the day.
Have you always had the bar in back?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't see it the first time I was there. I didn't see it the second time I was there.
I'm going to do a little renovation on that to kind of fix it and clean it up. We're about to do a little renovation in the restaurant, kind of change things up just a little bit, because we went in on, just such a, grinding it out, shoestring budget and just getting the door open. That's, and so now we're out to, kind of freshen it up a little bit and, and keep going. the landlord was bugging me go next door and make it bigger, but I was like, you know what, I like the quaintness.
I was just fixing to ask you that. So has he asked you about how big is next door?
Well, there was an Asian restaurant,
All
this
right.
Chinese place next to us. They burned the place down. So these guys, like over a year ago, they literally caught on fire, and we had to close for like 5 days. So,
but the fire didn't come over.
It didn't come over. We had smoke damage. So we had
that's the worst.
Yeah,
that's the
so
worst.
we had to fix everything and close for 5 days. So now they blew that space open. They have this big square, like 7,000 square foot space next door. But you know
Was the restaurant that big?
No, my restaurant's about 4,500.
No, his restaurant was 7,000.
No, but there was a couple spaces right around it that were empty. So they just kind
blew
of
it
like
all.
blew it all out, and they were trying to get me there. But I'm a little frugal or cheap, as like you say. And the landlord, you know what? They see money, right? So they're trying to get me, you know, and I just didn't like. I was like, you know what? That's not worth it.
You have to be frugal in the restaurant business. If you're
You
not,
have
guess
to.
what? You won't have a restaurant left.
You know, I got a saying, you know, you just watch the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves.
Yeah. But a lot of people in the restaurant business don't understand that.
Yeah.
They want to open up a restaurant to be glorified. And they want to find the best space and what it costs, and they want to have the high dollar drinks and all, what that's just and eventually people get, your investors or the person giving you money will get tired of giving you money.
Yeah,
It just
no,
all,
and
you
that's
know.
not the goal. The goal is to make a living and make money, not spend money. I was just talking that someone's like, oh, I did $10 million in sales. And I was like, okay, well, how much profit did you make?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sales really don't matter.
Yeah.
It's how much you got at the
That's right,
bottom
that's
line.
right,
You know,
that's right.
that's what matters, right? So
That's
it's
right.
about, you know, watching those pennies and you know, you know, spending the money where it's spent. You know, we just you know, we spend money on you know, we were just talking about this. Someone saying your chicken's so good. Your chicken breading and your chicken's so good. So we spent the money to buy like a medium chicken breast, not these huge jumbo chicken breasts that are flooding the market that everybody gets that are cheap. So we spend the money to get quality starting products, and it just makes the difference at the end. So you can't be cheap on the important stuff, but you know, you have to watch the pennies on the stuff that really doesn't matter that much.
What you do is the money that you do that with. By doing that, it creates customers, making them come back. It creates repeat business
For
because
sure.
they may not know when they first get there, but once they eat it one time, and you keep that quality and you keep the good products coming, then it keeps a repeat business.
Oh, for sure.
You've got to have a huge repeat business there.
Oh, I think on my POS it said it just tracks for my last credit cards for my last 200 transactions, and I think the week on that I think it's at like 85%. Repeat business, so like in the last 200 transactions.
Yeah, see, the average person, and my girlfriend's like this, and since she's
They
met
get
me,
stuck in their bubble. They
no,
go
let
the
me
same
tell you,
places.
that's okay. For you, that's good. But what I've learned in the restaurant, I've been in restaurants all my life, and people don't want to drive. They want to stay in a certain square mile circumference. That's what they want to do. Every once in a while, for an anniversary or Christmas or a wedding or something, they may go out or traveling for a holiday vacation. They'll go out and eat somewhere else. But for the most part, they want to stay in their bubble.
Yeah.
And their bubble may be 2 miles, maybe 4 miles, maybe 5 miles. So whatever's in their bubble, if it's good, it's the best place I've ever eaten in my life. I can't believe how good this place is.
Well, people are busy. Life's hectic now. Everybody's running around with the kids and their job and trying to do stuff. So you know what? Some of that driving takes time. You know, even me, I used to live up in Frisco, and we opened it in Dallas. I was like, I got to move down Dallas. Now I live like 7 minutes from the diner. So now that's way easier. You don't realize how much life-changing that is when you live a little bit closer to your job.
Oh, it's huge.
Right? It changes your life.
Especially there, because the traffic over there at that particular spot is horrible.
Yes.
Even when it's flowing, it's still it's
stay
still
on the
bad.
side roads, get off the highways. I don't have to drive up and down the tollway anymore. Although it did get better since they widened it, but I don't have to drive, I don't have to fight that traffic.
No, you know what I feel like? I feel like as soon as they got it widened, it was out of date already.
Oh,
That's
you know
what I feel like.
They definitely should have upped the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they're a little bit landlocked on there. There's not too much more they can do on that.
Double deck that, but they're not going to do that.
No, that'd be a monstrosity.
So when you found the location, did you already have your name, or did you have the name and the location?
No, we went through all kind of
So
different.
tell me how you did that. How'd you do that?
We just brainstormed a couple names, then we started asking different people. We did like Facebook surveys, and my wife's pretty smart. That's why I married her. So she grabbed on some of those things. You know, let's put this out. You know, we can think all we want, but let's put it out for them people and get some people to vote and see what they like. So, you know, we wanted to do I wanted to be like slightly kind of Canadian, but I really didn't want to ram Canadian down everybody's throat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you look around, there is some Canadian stuff up in the diner. But if people don't notice it, sometimes they're like, why are you called Maple Leaf? And I was like, oh, forget it. They're like, oh, I get it now. You know what I mean? It's there, but it's not like crazy in your face.
Well, I saw the Maple Leaf and knew right away, but I guess, I mean, it just, some just doesn't know.
You're in the business.
Yeah,
you know what's going on.
I
You're
just know
looking
the
for
leaf.
That's it. The leaf. There you go.
So Maple Leaf is a very unusual name. So there's none of the, because some restaurants open up and there's already 4 of them that same name or close to it.
Yes.
There's no Maple Leaf anywhere.
No.
That I saw. And I Googled. There's no. Not down here anyway.
No, I think in New Jersey I said something that was kind of like Maple Leaf, but it was I think it was closed. I kind of looked at it and see whatever, and I don't know. I trademarked it and did whatever, so it passed all that stuff. So
you did all of it, didn't you?
Yeah. Well.
So what was the very first thing when you opened your restaurant up? What was the very first thing that you said that you wanted to serve? What was it when you said this is what on your menu and you said that's what I want? I gotta have this on my menu. Gotta have it.
The Canadian bacon.
Canadian bacon.
Yeah, the real Canadian bacon, not
not the little
not
round,
the ham stuff that you guys serve here.
I don't
Canadian
like that
bacon.
stuff. So when you call and you get Canadian, and I say, do you have bacon? No, we have Canadian bacon. No, you don't. That ain't Canadian bacon. That's a little little round thing.
That's like ham is what it is that you call Canadian bacon.
Yeah. So tell everybody what Canadian bacon is.
So Canadian bacon is like a cured pork loin. And it's called pea meal bacon in Canada. Right. And it's called pea meal because back in the day, from English, when the troops were starving and getting hungry over in Canada, they'd bring lots of food over from England and Europe. So they used to salt cure these pork loins, and they used to roll them in crushed peas to wick away the moisture so they wouldn't go bad on the ships to get over. Okay. So that's how it got its name, pea meal bacon. But then they stopped using pea meal, and they used a cornmeal. They coated the outside with a cornmeal. Okay,
back up. So they would take the pork loin,
cure.
They'd put salt on it, and then they'd crush peas,
and
wrapped it, and then rolled it in peas,
and then stacked it on the ships and shipped it across.
And that
that
salt,
was like a cure between the salt and then the pea meal to like wick away any extra moisture, would kept it from going bad on the journey.
So I'm guessing when they got there, it was good, kind of like prosciutto or something, maybe.
Yeah, basically kind of cured. I think they cured a little bit more back in the day because now they do like more of a wet, it's like a wet brine that, you can't leave it out like they did back in the day, right? Yeah. So they cured it a little harder, I think, than they do now. But it's unbelievable. It's, I think it's like a cross between ham and bacon. Some people think it's kind of more hammy, but
more hammy.
More hammy. There you go. More hammy than bacon. People are like, it doesn't taste like bacon because they're thinking regular bacon. But it's, it's one of the things I yearned for it, not having it, because it's like a staple. It's like, and the poutine.
Yeah.
We had to have the poutine. Like we got our pot roast poutine back there. Our poutine, that's as common as onion rings here. Like all the McDonald's and Wendy's, they all serve poutine up in Canada. So
I didn't know that. So it's everywhere there.
Everywhere. Like it's like just like onion rings
or
French fries.
So when you go somewhere here, not everybody has it here, but when they do make it, it seems like it's all decorated up. So, but you can go anywhere in Canada and get it. Like you get a French fry here at McDonald's.
Yeah, I think at some like gas stations they sell poutine. Like it's like.
Hey,
it's like like
it is pretty good,
right?
Though. It is pretty damn good.
It is. It's one of my favorites too. So and I was like, you know what? And it's kind of funny. It didn't catch on down in Texas earlier. You guys eat a lot of gravy down here.
Yeah,
I don't see why not. Even up in Canada too, just fries and gravy, right? Yeah. That's a big thing.
People will take their French fries and dip them in the gravy.
Yes.
But they don't do it like that.
Yes. So. And then, we just looked at the area. We took a little bit of the southern stuff coming in, right. The chicken and waffles. You got chicken and waffles is big in the south.
Yeah,
and then also in the area too, we have a little bit of Jewish food. We have some lox and latkes, and we have a lox Benedict. Smoked salmon because we're right in the area of a large Jewish community. So you can't, opening a rrestaurant, you can't be ignorant to where you're at.
Right. No, you can't.
You know what I mean? You can't be ignorant to where you can.
You can be if you don't want to be in business.
Yeah, you can. You want to open a barbecue joint in the middle of someone that doesn't eat a lot of barbecue. You got to be conscious of what's going on.
Though, a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people are so narrow-minded. When you open up a restaurant, you have to be, even if you're a chef, you have to be able to look at the determining factors around you, the people that work for you, the environment. I mean, it's not just a menu, and it's crazy.
We grew up in survival in Canada. In Canada, like you got to think, Canada, I think right now there's only 36 million people in all of Canada. there's almost the same amount of people in Texas.
Yeah.
Right? So the population is spread out crazy. So in Canada, when we had our restaurants with my family, was taught us we had to, cast a wide net. You had to have
everything.
Chicken, fish. So you had to, because or else you're not going to attract enough people to do it, which which made our menu a little daunting, taking that kind of same thing. But now I think, try to narrow it down a little bit, because, you look at some of these restaurants here, they serve like 2 things and they're lined up the door, because let's face it, here there's so many options.
It depends on their target, but if it's a tacos, barbecue, they're targeting a certain niche, so that's not the same as what you do.
Yes, correct.
Your menu's fantastic. I mean, it's big, but for what you do. But let's just tell everybody. So what he's got a fantastic. He says he's a diner, but he's more than a diner because he also has alcohol, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I made you a nice little Bloody Caesars, another Canadian thing.
Yeah, look right here.
It's another Bloody Caesar. So that's kind of one of our specialties.
This is called a Bloody Caesar?
Bloody Caesar. So what makes it Caesar, it's almost like a Bloody Mary, but it's made with clamato juice. Hopefully you're not allergic to shellfish.
No.
All right, there you
I'm
go.
not allergic to anything.
There you go. Whoa.
Except being broke.
There you go. Well, eating out as much as you do. There you go, right? And the clamato juice, what it does, I think what it makes it better, it's a little bit saltier.
That's good.
It's a little bit saltier, right? And we could do a nice little garnish. You got to put some bacon on it. It's a garnish, right?
I'm going to try this bacon right here.
Yeah,
right now.
Our bacon's really good too. That's another thing. Although I'm cheap on a lot of things, I'm not cheap on my bacon. You can't be cheap on your bacon. You can't be cheap on your bacon. Same with our breakfasts. People say, "Oh my God, that's a lot of food." There's, on our bacon, we don't give 3 slips of bacon. Our basic bacon breakfast is 4 slips of bacon. You can see the size of the thickness of that bacon. There's a lot of money in bacon on the plate. Same with sausage. You can't cheat. You got to give some people some food, right?
Yeah.
Takeout boxes are very common at the time.
This is really good. What's around the top?
It's a celery salt.
It's good.
Yeah, just a nice celery salt. And
I thought it tasted that, but it tasted a little different. What was there something else in it besides celery salt?
No, it's just a celery salt in there, and then
maybe it's the clamato.
Maybe the clamato, and then a little bit of Tabasco, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and some olives. Yeah, it's good. That's common. People drink those. I think in Canada they're more popular. Caesars, people drink Caesars all the time. Where people in the United States here drink Bloody Marys, but they drink them just in the morning. But people drink Caesars all the time.
All the time. Yeah, I just drink. So I just did a Bloody Mary list. Did you see it?
I did not.
I did a big Bloody Mary, best Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Okay. I want to tell you a funny story.
All right. I like funny stories.
I like stories. So I saw this. I coded this sandwich wrong. And I don't know if you noticed it or who does your Facebook?
Myself and
okay.
We have another company that helps us out.
Somebody in there?
Yeah, Miss Catherine over there helps me out.
Somebody in there. Okay, so I put this picture of this good-looking sandwich on your thing, and I get a message like 2 hours later from Jonathan at Jonathan's Diner. He says, "Hey man, that's my arm. That's my sandwich. He's got great food, but that's my sandwich." It already had like 100 likes and it had like 30 comments. We had to take it down, man.
I didn't even see that.
Well, every once in a while it happens, but I take so many pictures of food and eat so much stuff. It's just literally that's happened to me like 3 or 4 times this year. I just when you like yesterday, I took probably 50 or 60 pictures in one day. And it was just funny, but I take care of it right away. It was
somebody else
funny.
Printed a publication like that. I forget what it was. I forget what other breakfast place it was, but it was some other breakfast place, and they put our like waffles or pictures of something under their name in a printed publication too. I forget what it was like over a year ago. I forget someone did that. So it was kind of funny too. So.
All right, so we're going to talk about your menu because I love your menu. Now, I had this when I went there.
You had the chicken bacon and waffles.
I had the chicken bacon and waffles.
This is a new one that we come up because we're putting out a little bit of new menu and we're changing it. And this is a chicken sausage waffle. Because we got to be Texas. This is some nice Texas smoked sausage. Again,
look at this thing.
Combining the Canadian with some Texas.
Look at that.
Comes with some white gravy, some maple syrup, some strawberries, and whipped cream. We put it all on the side because a lot of people sometimes don't like everything all together.
Your chicken is so damn good.
It's my family's recipe of the breading, and like I said, using good quality chicken,
And these things right here.
These cream puffs. Oh yeah, everybody freaks out for the cream puffs.
Dude, I almost hit
those are on top of the chicken bacon.
I almost slapped my girlfriend's hand. I said, "Get your hand away from mine." These are fantastic. You make these in house, right?
Yeah, we top them. So yeah, put a little.
So, you said a while ago. Excuse my smacking.
Yeah, no problem.
You said a while ago. Talk about people having food in a can.
Yes.
I want you to tell everybody. I knew right away when I saw your menu. You don't. Everything is prepared in house, fresh with fresh products, fresh ingredients.
I have some things that I don't make. I don't make my sausage. I don't make the country sausages, but we make our hamburger buns. We make, you know what? If I run across a product
That's good.
that is good, I'm not an ego guy. If their product's better than mine and saves me some steps, I'll use it. But it's got to pass the test.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll use somebody else's stuff, but it's got to pass the test. And a lot of times, somebody else's best try doesn't beat mine, so then you end up making stuff.
That's good.
All right, like I didn't bring you, but like my mozzarella sticks are ridiculous, and no one makes mozzarella sticks anymore, but we make our mozzarella sticks, and they're just. So
you don't take them out of the freezer and throw them in?
No, sir. We bread them, hand bread them. It's a pain in the butt, but they're the best darn mozzarella stick you'll ever have. My poor fryer guys don't like it. They gotta bread. They gotta bread everything. They gotta bread their mushrooms. They gotta bread their pickles. They gotta bread their mozzarella sticks. They gotta bread their mozzarella cheese for their pizza burger.
Okay, so hang on. Now we're going to talk about this. I want to hold this up. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I love all the maple leaf stuff. I was telling your wife, there's nothing. This is the only red that's ever gone with anything in the studio.
There you go. Canadian red and Trey Spas, meant to be.
Look at this burger right here. Look at that.
A pizza burger.
Pizza burger. Ron, pizza burger.
I think he was eyeing that thing when we were setting up before we started. So
these are your mushrooms?
Yeah, our breaded mushrooms. Again, made them as in-house. A lot of people buy breaded mushrooms, but I don't like it because they're like grease balls. You know what I mean? You cop into it, and it's like it's all grease, and so you got to make them from scratch.
So what's on a pizza burger?
So we start with our homemade bun. We take our ground beef, and we do a half-pound patty, and then on top there is a mix of a bolognese sauce. There's bolognese sauce. There's ground beef and tomato sauce and spices. There's pepperoni. There's onions. There's bell peppers and hot peppers in there, and we saute that and warm it up on the grill. Put it on there.
Is that fried cheese?
Yeah, we take a big slab of the mozzarella cheese. We bread it and fry it. It's not going to be as gooey any now. We've been talking for 30 minutes.
I know.
But normally a goo's right out and drips right down your face, which makes it all nice.
That tastes really good.
Yeah.
What's on the breading?
It's it's a secret. It's a little well, I could tell you, but you know how that saying goes. You know how that saying goes.
This is awesome.
And then we top it with our breaded mushrooms. And
so where did the inspiration come from for this dish?
This is kind of a makeup of my family recipe, kind of hanging down.
From the old pizza, the old.
Yeah. I think my grandmother started a version of this pizza burger, so and it just kind of grew from there. So.
And what's the sauce?
It's a dill sauce. It's a made sauce in house.
I bet that's good.
People love it. People want
sauce. That is good.
People ask it for jars, so we use that for our mushrooms, or you dip your burger in and put it on there. So, yeah, it's. I'm
gonna get a big bite of that when we get through.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Can you grab that for me?
Yes,
I'll put this up there.
This is our poutine, and this is our pot roast poutine.
Can you say poutine?
Poutine.
I'm not gonna tell you what I called it one time in a restaurant. It was not a good thing.
And we use some real cheese curds. A lot of other people do some poutine around town. You can start to see it more and more.
Yeah.
But no offense to anybody else, they just don't do it right.
Yeah.
People put mozzarella on there. That's a white cheddar cheese curd.
Where do you get your cheese curds from? Do you make them or do you get them?
No, that's from Wisconsin. Again, I make too much stuff. There's some things I just can't make. Wisconsin
cheese curds are awesome. My dad gets them in bags. Gets them vacuum sealed.
Yes, sir.
And gets them overnighted or whatever. And
yes, sir.
They're good.
Yeah, in Montreal was where the poutine started. And actually poutine, they said, is a French name for like being a mess, like a mess on the plate. The people that kind of started it out there, right? But and we do our homemade fries, of course. It's funny again. A lot of the things we do, we don't use a lot of really crazy ingredients. We use simple stuff. You said that about food and buying stuff. The food suppliers don't really like us because we're buying sugar, flour, credit, what I mean? Right. Because they don't make as much money on all that stuff unless you're buying processed food. But we make our own fries. It's amazing how many people don't make their fries. But you know what? It is a little bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. But so many people don't make their fries anymore.
I think it's so important to make your fries. I think it makes a huge difference.
Oh, for sure. I definitely agree.
I saw when we were there, I was watching all the orders and stuff come out, and I could tell they were they would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and you put our beef gravy on there, and with our pot roast on there. Yeah, that gravy's pretty good. We make a lot of gravy.
Yeah,
we make a lot of gravy.
You make more than one kind of gravy?
Just our white gravy. We do more of this. Like I think this week I think we made 45 gallons of brown gravy in a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're busy.
You wouldn't, you know what? Your food is all very healthy, very, very, very comfort food, right?
Yes.
You would not think that in the city of Dallas is so health conscious that you would, but they stack up outside to come into your restaurant.
Well, you know what? And the whole thing, there's one thing of being healthy and one thing of being real, because all our food is like real food.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and even this gravy, you know, it's not, because I don't use a, you know, lard or fat roux to start, actually not as bad for you as some of the other gravies, because we're only using a flour slurry to slur. It's not like it's gluten free or anything, but it's not as fattening.
How many requests do you get for gluten free in your place nowadays?
It's getting more. It's definitely getting more. Definitely more and more.
Why aren't people requesting 10 years ago, 20 or 30 years ago? What happened?
It's kind of more of a trend than a problem now.
That's
What it is. It's kind of, you know, and it's one thing too. It is, you know what? A lot of diets nowadays, a lot of things, you know, gluten. I guess the problem is too there's so much processed food now.
Yeah, you're right.
And then most of the processed food has gluten in it. Right? Even when it doesn't need gluten, they use gluten for stabilizers, for different things like that. So I think this is what's creating the problem, because more people are tolerant now because you're getting so much of it.
Right.
You're not just getting gluten when you're eating bread or pasta or something like that. You're getting in all kinds of foods. You can have like a fruit snack, like a dried fruit snack, and it has gluten in it you know what I mean? So there's lots of things that I think that are contributed to it, but it's definitely, you know, I get a lot of people with these pizza burgers, or we have that flagship that stands tall like that with some mozzarella sticks on it. They're like, can I get a grilled flagship?
Wait, back up. What did you say?
It's called a flagship chicken sandwich.
Right.
So it's a breaded chicken breast.
Right.
It has cheddar cheese,
Right.
bacon. We put marinated tomatoes on it, lettuce, onion. We put our dill sauce on it, and we top it with 3 mozzarella sticks.
Okay.
So it makes like a
fresh
little
mozzarella sticks that you make in house.
Yes. So the people are like, I need a grilled flagship with grilled chicken, not breaded chicken. I need it on a gluten-free bun. Please make sure there's no gluten. And they're like, well, ma'am, our mozzarella sticks are gluten. Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah. Because they want the cheese sticks. All of a sudden, the gluten allergy doesn't matter anymore, right?
Because they want that gooey cheese.
Yes, sir. So, yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, happens a lot.
Let's grab the other dish right there.
Awesome.
What is that drink in front of you?
Oh, you know, that's my favorite drink.
What is it?
I made you a Caesar, but it's not my favorite. I'm simple. Again, a simple guy. It's vodka, water, splash of cranberry, and a lime. Light, refreshing.
That is a good drink.
I drink it all the time.
It's a good, vodka cranberry is good. I like it. But what's funny is that I watch some people, they will pour almost all cranberry and then vodka.
Actually, someone in the back made this one. They put a little bit too much cranberry. I normally just like it tinted a little bit.
Tinted.
My wife makes fun of me a little bit. She's like, your drink's pink. You know, I'm like, I'm secure with my sexuality. I can have a pink drink. I'm good with it. It's fine with me.
Hey, I'll drink any alcohol drink. I'm very secure.
That's it. I don't discriminate.
This looks really cool. What in the world is this?
So, you know what? We're well known for our breakfast.
Right.
But people don't.
Oops.
This is a horseradish mayo to put on the side. But people don't realize. Well, we have some people, but don't people realize?
What is this?
Have you heard of a Yorkshire pudding?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, that's a Yorkshire pudding that we cook in a pie shell to make it like a bonnet. So we make a bonnet out of the Yorkshire pudding recipe. Instead of puffing it up in a pan to making a ball, it's kind of an English thing that they serve with a prime rib.
Right.
We put it in a pie pan to kind of create and put a dish, and that's how we start our bonnet. And then we put some mashed potatoes in there. We put a little sour cream with our pot roast and our gravy and our carrots and green beans.
This pot roast is delicious. Is there? I see it. Oh yeah. This is going to be good. I'm taking an excuse to eat some more pot roast here.
That's it.
I don't want a piece
That's
that
a big piece.
God, this looks so good. Smells so good still. It's been sitting here 30 minutes.
That's it.
It's still warm.
I do lots of catering, Trey. I know how to transport food, even though I came for an hour, you know? I brought it in my hot box.
But I think it's so big, and there's so much heat in there.
It's like a mound of heat, just oozing the heat still. So yeah, and so our dinner dishes are phenomenal. You know, again, we laugh. I get these people say this, you know, for a bunch of, you know, for some Canadian, you sure do make a mean chicken fried steak and the chicken fried chicken. We sell so many chicken fried steaks. This poutine over here, one of my favorite things I have right now is we do a fried steak poutine. So we take the fried steak, we put that poutine. It comes in a bowl this big, Trey, the poutine. We mound the fries up, put the fried steak on it. And this is the best part about it. We use the brown gravy because I'm from the north. I don't do white gravy like y'all do down here.
This brown gravy is delicious.
I can't do white gravy. I do brown gravy. So when people put the brown gravy with the fried steak, they like go crazy. There was this guy in a restaurant the other day. I was like, hey, it's like next time you have that fried steak, I was like, have a brown gravy. And it's funny enough, he came back the next day to have another fried steak. He had a fried gravy. He's like, I don't know, I'm from the South. I was like, listen, this will change your life. You have it. I said, if you don't like it, I'll buy it for you. Don't you worry. And I'll make you another one. Sure enough, he's like, honestly, I'll tell you right now, I'm never having a fried steak again without brown gravy. He's like,
well, yeah, but somebody else's brown gravy is probably not going to taste like your brown gravy.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't do anything about that. They just have to come back and see me, right?
Okay, so hang on. So let's talk TV. So you're on my ABC special for Best Breakfast.
Yes, sir.
Because I truly believe you have one of the best breakfasts in North Texas.
Thank you. We try our best every day.
Yeah, you got a great breakfast. You were on, what else were you on?
We've been on a Food Network show. Jeff Dunham had that Incredible Edible America.
Yeah.
We were on that show. We were on Food Paradise. They actually featured the pizza burger.
Right. When was that? Food Paradise? When was
that was maybe a year and a half ago or so.
Okay.
No, 2 years ago, I think, Food Paradise came in. Our chicken and waffles, the one that you hate, the chicken bacon and waffles, it was featured not last year, the year before in Paula Deen's magazine for top 10 chicken and waffles in the United States. You know, the news channels love us down there because I bring lots of tables of food, so they bring us down there a lot. So yeah, we get definitely a bunch of press. So.
It's good because it's good. That's why.
That's it, right?
So, what is your? If someone saw you out somewhere at McDonald's or at Del Frisco's or on the side of the road at the park, and they ask you, Mike, what's your favorite thing and your favorite dish at Maple Leaf? What would you say?
My favorite dish to eat? I'm probably right now. I like that fried steak poutine that I eat. I like that, and honestly, what I eat every day is our soup. We make our homemade soup every day. And again, that's probably one of my favorite things to make and cook in the kitchen is soup, because I love to like make something out of nothing. You know, I love to create something out of nothing, and we make different soups all the time. You know, it kind of drives some of our customers crazy. Like, how come you don't have this soup or that soup? And I was like, we just don't know what we're gonna make every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just gonna make something different. You know, a lot of
But that's okay. That's creativity.
Yeah.
You don't know what, that's okay. You want to be on the same track as
everybody else. A lot
everybody
of restaurants
else.
have that same soup. You know what I mean? They have this, you know, chicken and broccoli, or chicken mushroom.
Bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people love our soups, our homemade soups, and I love making soup. So it's definitely good.
When I get up in the mornings, I'm never on the same track. When I get up in the mornings, I look and I think, what am I going to do? And I pick between 1 and 500 tracks. That's the track I go on that day. I don't ever be on the same track. It's just not, for me, I want to live life. And that's what y'all are doing over there. Your food, your restaurants, your atmosphere, everything's about living, enjoying, having fun.
Yes.
The atmosphere in there is vibrant. Vibrant. Oh, it's huge.
Service.
Don't worry about having the Cowboys on anymore either.
No. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What are we going to do with those guys?
I can't say anything, you know.
I know you can't, but
Right.
I saw last time I was there was a Cowboy, some kind of show or something in the morning. It was on that screen you had there, and I'm like, oh, just when you walked in, I thought about it. What happened last night? I thought, oh, we don't have to worry about that now. But
yeah, for sure. But no, you touched on a good point. The atmosphere, I think, is a great, but the service. You know, you can have good food, but if you don't get your food properly, if you don't have that bright, cheery smile, I think service goes a long way. You know, I think even some of these restaurants that aren't even that great with food, if they have great service and great, you know, people that know your name or know your order, or know, and we have crazy longevity for our employees. Our employees really like it. We've only been open 4 years, and I think my average employee's probably been there about 3 years.
See, that's good. Low turnover is important.
Yeah, so we have a good core group, and so, you know, you get those people that they get served all the time. They come in all the time. They know what they're going to drink, or they know what they're going to eat, and you know, just take care of people that way.
Yeah.
One of my servers was telling me in the morning how thankful she was. We had a little mishap in the restaurant yesterday, but how thankful she was. One of her regulars that come in all the time, they end up giving her like $200 or something for Christmas. You know, it's just so you can tell, you know, how much service and how nice you got to be for someone to give them $200.
Oh yeah, what you said, you had a mishap in a restaurant. You only had one mishap.
Yesterday's mishap. Let's just say yesterday's mishap. That's what my wife says to me. She says, "How come you operate in emergencies? Everything's always an emergency with you. How come everything's an emergency?" My wife's smart. She's got an MBA from SMU, and she's like, you know, you got to manage your time better. You got to time block. I was like, honey, I can't time block for the stuff that happens to me in the restaurant, right? Our power was down.
Oh, that's an emergency.
It was like, they only had one leg of our phase went up. It burned my burned my hood fan out, had to replace my hood fan motor. We were closed for 5 hours. A little bit of disaster yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit. That's what you call a mishap.
But we got it all back together, and it's all.
You could have said, "Oh, your restaurant would just filled up with smoke."
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly.
That's really funny. So, how do you? I haven't asked you this yet. Where does all your creative side come from, or your inspiration for all your dishes? Besides just these, obviously your favorite. But like, if you're creating a new dish, where do you draw inspiration from Canada, from Texas? Put both, because I know your slogan is a little bit of Canada and Texas.
Yeah,
so.
you got to just try to bring a little bit of things, and also we try to mesh the Southern to the Canadian, or a little flair, or take some Southern dish, add Canadian, or like you said, we talked about, where I was at, bringing a little bit of Jewish influence, or just kind of just taking whatever comes, or whatever, you talk a lot about trends,
right.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to take the new kind of trendy thing and kind of give your own spin on it, but I'm pretty kind of simple kind of guy, so I like to keep the staples that, people love and expect, and also, I guess kind of just build on that, and simple foods and simple flavors.
So, how many have you been into a restaurant or heard that somebody has copied your dish or tried to copy your dish at other restaurants?
You know what? There's all kind of stuff like that happens all the time, but you know what? Some of my family taught me a long time ago. You only worry about your four walls.
That's right. No, that's right.
You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? You can't do really anything about it.
That's very smart, though.
You know what? You just make it better. You just wake up every day, do the best job that you can, and that's all you can do.
I say all the time, you can't control what happens around you. It only controls what happens with you or between you and whoever. So it's a very.
My dad died when he was young. I was 21. He was 43 years old.
Oh, was it a heart attack?
No, he had cancer.
Oh, okay.
Down in Canada and Windsor area around the Great Lakes, there's pretty high cancer rate. So he died when he was young, and he used to have this poster, and it was kind of this cheesy kind of poster of this guy kayaking, but I'll never forget it. He always pointed. It was, life's like 1% of what happens to you, and 99% of how you deal with it.
That's right. You said it's cheesy, but you never forgot it, did you?
Never forgot. Well, it was a cheesy picture. It was like one of those.
Was he in a canoe rowing?
Yeah, it was like a kayak guy or something. I think it was
something
like,
I'm never going to do. I'm not getting in a kayak.
Yeah.
Because if you get in a kayak, too many things can happen. Like you can roll upside down and you drown yourself. Especially if you've had whiskey.
Well, you're from Texas, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm not getting in a kayak.
Yeah, so you're
I'll get on a horse.
There you go, not in a river.
Every day, any day of the week. But I won't get on a kayak.
Exactly.
Get in a kayak.
Exactly.
Well, I can't. When I'm on a river, I mean, it's a lot of variables going on there.
A little dicey,
yeah.
Especially if you're not used to it, right?
I can jump off a horse and I'm on the ground.
That's it.
You jump in a river, you're in a river.
Exactly, for sure.
All right, so what do you have coming up for Maple Leaf? Anything special coming up? Any holiday deals or anything?
No, really. I don't do too many deals. We just kind of push out our great food. We're gonna do probably a little something for a little different. We have Boxing Day coming up. Do you know what Boxing Day is?
No, what is that?
It's kind of a holiday in Canada. It's the day after Christmas. They call it Boxing Day. I think it came from everybody boxing up all their crap and returning it after they get it.
Wait, I thought you meant boxing like this.
No.
You're talking about boxing.
Boxing Day. Well, you can take it any way you want.
I thought you meant boxing like beat the hell out of somebody who didn't give me the gift I wanted.
Get some gloves in there and let them go at it. So
it's called Boxing Day as in box.
Yeah, they call it Boxing Day. It's like a holiday in Canada. So, I like to play on, we do all our Canadian holidays here. I don't serve Thanksgiving meal at American Thanksgiving. We serve it in the Canadian Thanksgiving, which is...
Okay.
Columbus Day. Every time it's Columbus Day here, that's Canadian Thanksgiving. So we do a huge turkey stuffing, and all the Canadians come out to have their Canadian Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. So
cool.
So yeah.
So tell me, for people who want to get a hold of Maple Leaf, how they do it?
You can go on our Facebook, Maple Leaf Diner. We got our website, mldiner.com.
mldiner.com.
mldiner.com. And you can look. You search
Instagram.
You search Canadian restaurant on the computer. There's only one. So come on.
There's only one. Yeah, I know. There's only one Maple Leaf too.
That's it. Yes.
So what? Are y'all closed for Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas Day and Thanksgiving I will not open.
That's good. That's good.
I can't. No one wants to work that day, and I don't want to work when there's an emergency.
Oh
yeah, right? Because there's going to be one, right?
All right, guys. Mike, I really appreciate you coming in, buddy.
Thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed it. So if you're trying to get a hold of us, as always, it's TreyChapman.com. You can go to TreyChapman.com. You can see all our shows. You can see all our blogs, all our stories, get all our links to all our social media You can email us if you have a dining question in the North Texas area. And we look forward to seeing y'all next week. Y'all need to tune in. Or also, too, they can get us now at TC on the TCN network. On the app, you can go to, I think it's TexasCountryNetwork.net. Is that right, Ron? TexasCountryNetwork.net? Gosh, I hope so. Here I am promoting the show and don't even know
you
the
better get it right.
Oh, my God. Just Google TCNCountry.net.
There you go.
Isn't that terrible?
There you go.
Gosh.
Well, it's new to you. It's still new. I'm going to let you
gosh.
off the hook on that one, you know, because it's still new for you.
Terrible. Anyway, one more time, Ron. No, I think it's net. TCNCountry.net. The .net is what threw me.
There you
So
go.
TCN.net, and you can get all the country music shows. You can get videos. We got lifestyle shows. We've got my show with Mike here.
Nice, nice.
And other shows. We have a great show next week. It's with the Hutchinson Barbecue people out of McKinney. We look forward to that, and we'll see y'all next week. Same time, same bad channel. Thank you.
Thanks, thank you.
I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey'sChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs and sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.